All right. Welcome. My name is Robin, Certified Nutrition Specialist, and welcome to One Simple Change, where we're going to share hopefully some information that you can use for your health and well being and some inspirational stories as well. People ask me all the time, what can I do, Robin, to take my health to another level? What can I do to get my immune system in order? What can I do to balance my blood? I mean, people ask me all these questions. What can I do? So I'm going to share with you all what you can do. And it's simple but profound. So we're going to talk about that one simple change. There are two startling trends in our world, minus all of the other things, the big elephants in the room. We're not talking about those startling trends. We're talking about the health trends. And what we're dealing with is environmental toxins that bombard our bodies, as well as the chemicals and toxins in food. So our food quality is on the decline, and all the toxins we get into our bodies. And all of that is a perfect storm that leads to a lot of illnesses and diseases, and we'll talk about in a second. But when it comes to our food, food right now is delivered to us really quick, mass produced, because the people must eat. People are eating a lot of chicken and fast foods and all of those things, and they want food quick and fast and convenient, and that has created a perfect storm, or not a good space for where we are. But just so that I can illustrate this to you, and I'm going to use chickens, and some of you might be vegans or vegetarians, and I understand that, but I'm using chickens as a form of illustration. But chickens are designed to grow ready in 78 days. So that's how long nature has a chicken ready to be chicken ready, right? So the scientists are able to now produce chickens in 48 days. Well, how is that so? In order to do that, there's hormones and chemicals and all of those things put inside the chickens to speed up their production and fatten them up. And all of those things that are put into the chicken or the cows or anything also is then put into our bodies. And that creates a lot of different things that are unfavorable. Even when it comes to fruits and vegetables, the soil that the crop is grown in is not mineral and vitamin rich as it used to be. Modern agriculture is stripping even our produce of the nutrition that we need. So in early 90s is when things started to really, really change with our food and our produce. And that's when GMOs came about. And these are genetically modified organisms. And to give you an example of that, you'll know that watermelon used to have seeds, so did grapes, but now they don't. Well, they do, but you can go to the store and get them without it. And those are modified seeds. And gluten, that's wheat. A lot of times our digestive system doesn't know how to manage all of the chemicals and things that are there now. True story, and y'all can see this, that more than half or 2/3 of our population is addicted to fatty, salty, sugary foods. So they taste really good, and it lights up this thing in our brains, and that sends us on a slippery slope. So I want you all to understand and see, and I'm sure you can see this, that now more than ever, there's more heart disease and stroke, more cancer, and breast cancer in women and men, but women getting younger and younger. And just we didn't hear about the amount of cancer that we hear about today. You have all these respiratory diseases, asthma, COPD, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Remember when we didn't hear about Alzheimer's? That was when you were really, really, late stage of life. Now it's happening all the time, younger and younger. Kidney disease, autism growing by leaps and bounds, and autoimmunes. When I started as a nutritionist, I would see clients and I didn't hear about autoimmunes. Now, just about everyone is coming with some form of an autoimmune: lupus, MS, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and the list goes on. Constipation is an issue. And just so you know that if your bowels are not moving properly, then all of the waste and toxins are just being reabsorbed by your cells. We have food allergies a lot. So I don't know if y'all know that people used to eat peanuts if you didn't have to have an EpiPen. But now there's so many food allergies, as well as infertility. there's a lot of challenges that we face, and it is a direct correlation to the food that we eat or lack thereof. Like we're not getting enough nutrients in our bodies, and the environment. The food additives and chemicals is linked to autoimmune disorders. It's damaging us in our intestines and everything. And I feel like I paint such a sad picture about what's true, but it is true. I didn't make it up. When you don't have enough nutrients in your body, you can't fight off all of the things that are trying to invade your body. And no matter what, we all breathe, all of us eat, and just by doing that, you're going to take in chemicals. You can't avoid that. But what you can do is armor your cells in order to have I would say a fighting chance, right, for your cells to do what it needs to do, which is about building your immune system. So we're going to talk about one simple change. And it really excites me because I feel like it's the best kept secret, but it's so simple that when I tell you this, like, brace your chairs, right? This is how the game is won, is to actually eat more plant foods. Now, I'm not telling you to become vegetarian or vegan. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you to include more plant foods in what you already consume right now, because the plant foods, it's your medicine. The phytochemicals and compounds that are found in the plants, primarily fruits and vegetables, is what is the armor for your cells. All of those micronutrients go into your cells and give your cells power. Failing to get micronutrients guarantees disease. I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. So when I listed all of those illnesses and diseases that we're so plagued with in our society, it's a direct correlation to the nutrition that we're not getting. Most people don't know that we need 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables every day. When I first heard that, even though I'm a nutritionist, I almost fell out of my chair. Because when people said eat more plant foods, my ego said, oh, I'm doing well, I'm a nutritionist, I eat well. But do I eat 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables? No, I didn't. No. So my thing was, okay, if I need all these raw fruits and vegetables, I don't get them, I want to live my best life, okay, what's the solution? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the solution, because the listeners might say what I think about when they said eat 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables. I'm like, do I have to juice all the time? Like, what do I do? Juicing is messy, it's expensive. I'm thinking this just sounds like a challenge. So we're going to share with you ways that we found to get these fruits and vegetables in your body to bridge the gap between what you should be eating and what you are eating in such an easy, convenient, affordable way. And I have some friends that are going to talk about their story. We actually take our fruits and vegetables as a plant powder in capsules or chewables. When I first heard about that, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's absurd. In my mind, I'm thinking it's a gimmick. No, real deal. What do you think would happen to you if every day you consumed 30 raw fruits and vegetables? Your cells would be doing a happy dance like you wouldn't believe. Don't take my word for it though. I have some buddies here that are going to share some of their stories and journeys of what taking these plant powders is doing for them and their family. So what I want to do, and it's not a vitamin. Even though it's in this capsule, it's literally the fruits and vegetables, the pits, the peel, the seed, the core, all of it put into a big grinder. The water's taken out and you're just getting the powder. So it is not a multivitamin. For the record, a multivitamin is a synthetic version of isolated nutrients. You don't eat I don't think you do, maybe you do, the peel of an orange. That's where the nutrition is. So when we are eating our fruits and vegetables, we're letting a lot of the nutrients go by cooking them and doing all these things. So you're getting all the raw fruits and vegetables. It is food. That is what it is. So let's hear from some, I get excited. It's backed by research. I'm not making this up. I'm not just saying, well, try it and, we'll see what happens. No, more than 38 published research studies in reputable journals and universities all across the world have tested, tried, and have published research on the power of taking these plant powders daily. So, what can you expect from taking the plant powders? I don't know, but let's hear from some other folks. Actually, I do know what you can expect, but we're going to hear some others share their stories. Everyone's story is their own because everybody's body is different, and your cells know what they need and what needs to happen in your body. So, I'm going to call on Rihanna Sanford, and she's going to share with us her story. She has a special needs daughter, and she's going to tell us about that and just how taking the plant powders has impacted her daughter and her family. So Rihanna, take it away.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for sharing all of that information and for inviting me to share our family story, but more specifically, my daughter's story. Can everybody hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay. And I have a special guest on tonight. I have one of Kaya's paras from school on tonight who was willing to come on and listen to Kaya's story because she hadn't heard it yet. So I just wanted to give her a quick shout out and say, welcome, Miss Sharlila. We're going to talk about one of your favorite people tonight. So yes, my story starts out with me and dealing with the health issues that I was dealing with. I was chronically fatigued. I had a love affair with Little Debbie, y'all. I just adored everything that Little Debbie had her name on. And I was hoarding things like Oreos in my nightstand. So I had a love affair with sugar. I was definitely a sugar addict. And I was that way from being in college all the way up through into starting to have babies and into my 30s. And you can imagine with having an addiction to sugar like that, how that would take a toll on my body for so many years. And so fast forward to me being about age 34 or so, 35-ish, and having 3 kids. I had 3 kids in 3 years. So lots of busy moments, lots of busy days. And I did not have or make time for myself. On top of it, I had this child who was our first with a neurological disorder that caused her to lose all of the skills that she had learned within the first 9 months of her life and was causing a major regression throughout the rest of her life. And it's a neurological disorder called Rett syndrome. And so you can imagine the brain controls every major function in the body. So if you have a neurological disorder, almost any function in the body can go awry. So some of the things that she was dealing with are things like she had a heart arrhythmia that caused her heart to beat irregularly and she had to be medicated for. She also had a really bad digestive issues that would keep her from being able to gain healthy weight, and also was causing her to have really bad acid reflux. She was vomiting anywhere from 12 to 15 times a day. It was rotten. We couldn't even hardly leave the house because we were afraid of her vomiting in public. And those were some hard years. On top of those things and having to be medicated for those things, she was also having seizures on a normal basis, especially if something entered her body that was foreign. She had a UTI or a fever or something like that, and her body would start convulsing. We would go into the hospital anywhere from 4 to 6 times a year. I promise you, it felt like almost every other month that we were in the hospital. And so I was desperate. I got to Juice Plus because I was desperate, first of all, for myself to have a better lifestyle so that I could be healthier for the sake of this child that needed me to do everything for her. She is wheelchair bound or bed bound, and she is not able to communicate. So I literally am her caregiver, right? And so she needs this body to work well so that I can help take care of her. And it's for as long as possible. But that's how I ran into these plant powders, and I needed an easy button, right? 3 kids and years. I have an addiction to sugar. I needed an easy button to get fruits and veggies in my body. And that's exactly what I saw this as. But what I didn't expect was how it was going to impact my daughter's body. So those little capsules that you saw in the picture before actually twist open, and I was able to dump those powders into her, into a little bit of water, and then pour it into her feeding pump bag, because she is fed with a feeding pump because of how little weight she was gaining. She had to be fed by a machine. And so, but it ended up being her lifeline, because as soon as we started giving her these plant powders, you guys, I'm telling you, we started seeing most of these heart issues. We saw the heart issues actually disappear. The doctor kept doing an EKG. He can't find the heart arrhythmia anymore. So he's taken her off of those medications. Then we noticed that she was vomiting less and less and less and less. And then she started gaining weight, gaining weight, gaining weight, gaining weight. And now she's doubled her weight since then, as Relina knows, because she's got little rolls and stuff anywhere. She's not skin and bones anymore. And she's been able to be decreased from that acid reflux medicine by 90%. And that is the only medication that she is still on. And the seizure medications that she used to be on, they completely removed her, because she's been seizure free for 5 years now since we started these plant powders. So believe me when I say that the power of plants is huge. It's huge. And it has definitely changed not just myself and my issues with sugar and things like that. I have a taste for things like Brussels sprouts, y'all. I mean, it's crazy the way that my cravings have changed. But obviously, as a family, our whole quality of life is different, because her quality of life is better. So her quality of life is better, and we can leave the house as a family now, although these days, of course, we're not going out very much as a family. But we have a much nicer quality of life because of the fact that we can do things as a family. We're not concerned about her health. We haven't been in the hospital in over 2.5 years.
Wow.
And that is probably like one of the things I'm most excited about, is just pulling her out of that situation that we were in so many times, month after month after month. So we are definitely believers, and we will shout it from the rooftops about the power of nutrition and the power of these plant powders.
Thank you so much. That was, wow. So inspiring. People would think that literally it's fruits and vegetables in that capsule in a power packed way. We're going to hear from Kim Campbell. Where are you? Are you somewhere?
Yes.
Hi. So,
hello.
Yes, welcome. Nice to meet you. I hear you have a journey with autoimmunes and some. Well, you tell us, actually. You tell us. Take it away.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for asking me to share my story. And it makes me all warm inside when I get to share my story. So thank you so much. And so my name is Kim Campbell. I live in Ohio. And I was introduced to these wonderful little capsules for almost 4 years ago now. I was diagnosed with this about 5 years ago. And I was a very tired out, worn out mama of 3 little kids, and that could almost not even make it through the morning routine, just getting them off the bus, off to preschool. And I couldn't wait to get back in my bed and just curl up and go back to sleep. I had terrible fatigue. I had terrible migraines. I had issues with IBS. They were also concerned that I had Crohn's disease, but come to find out it was just my, autoimmune issues that I was having. So my doctor told me that I needed to just go and have a bunch of lab work done. And then that's when I found out that I had lupus. So I went down to a rheumatologist in the city next to us. And she said that, well, you can go on this medicine called Plaquenil. And I'm like, well, I might as well just go ahead and try it, because my symptoms were so bad at that point. I was just desperate, to be on anything that was going to make me feel better. So I was listening to my doctor, and I did that for around 6 months or so before I was introduced to this amazing nutrition. And I actually was introduced by Rihanna, and I had talked to her on the phone, and I just knew that as soon as I heard her voice, I knew that I needed to do whatever she was doing because I needed that energy. And I had never talked to someone more passionate and more loving, and just her amazing story of her sweet Kaya. And I knew that I just absolutely had nothing to lose, and I had to try this for my family. And the other little tidbit to know is my children were all diagnosed at birth with cystic fibrosis. So they have a pretty mild form, but fortunately, we don't have to make any more visits to the doctor like we used to. They are able to take these gummies, and they drink the shakes, and they are just absolutely thriving. My son is 13 years old now, and he was at the point where we were worried that we were going to have to add enzymes to his diet, possibly even a feeding tube. He was 2% on the growth chart, and they were extremely worried, for his health, and so were we. And so it was absolutely crucial for us to get this amazing nutrition into his body. And now he is a strapping young 13-year-old handsome dude, and just got his quarantine haircut yesterday. It looks like this looks like a new man. So, but we have been so incredibly blessed because I am so incredibly happy to say that I was on 5 different medications, one for my lupus, one for migraines, IBS, estrogen, and depression. And I am now off every single one of those medications. So I have nothing but praise.
Yes.
Nothing but praise to give to God, first of all, but second of all, to this amazing nutrition that I get to just take simply in a capsule every single morning with my shake. So my children are doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. And this community is just a blessing to me. I'm able to stay home with them. My husband owns now a construction business when he was a detective, and now we're healthy enough that we don't ever go to the doctor. And so because we don't have health insurance, we are self-pay. And so we are extremely thankful for that. So thank you for letting me share my story, and I'm excited to just share, and thanks so much.
Got it. So thank you so much for that. This is just moving. Oh my goodness. So our next sharer is Jerry Gross. Jerry, where are you? So we have 2 more sharers, and then we'll tell you a couple things. And I know some of you are like, where do I get these plant powders? So we'll make sure to tell you that. But Jerry, where are you?
Right here.
Okay. Can y'all see Jerry? There you. Do I see you? We can hear you. Okay, perfect. Jerry, tell us. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, cool. So Jerry, tell us what you've experienced by taking the plant powders.
Okay, can you see me or?
Yep.
I can't see. Okay. Okay, hi, my name is, my story is I had darkening all around my skin, my stomach, my underarms. I couldn't figure out what was darkening my skin than my normal skin color. And I was afraid it was going to go up to my neck, and then I really would be having to explain to everyone what was going on. So, and then I suffered with my A1C. It was going up every year, and my doctor had told me that I was pre-diabetic, and I told them I'm either pre-diabetic or a pre. There's no such thing as pre. And so she said, well, you're going to have to do something because every year you come in to get a blood test, you're going up 1%. Your A1C is going up 1%. So I went to church, heard a sermon from Dr. Bernetta, and she introduced the plant powders to everyone. And when I got home that night or the next day, I called her and I said, what are these plant powders? Explain them to me. I want to know more about them because I want to lower my A1C. She explained it. I immediately joined, received them, and started ordering the plant powders. And as I started taking them, I thought I was, I was going to do better with my A1C. Well, it just started in 1 month, my skin started coming back to a normal, my normal color. And so I was taking 2 things were going on with just the plant powders. So it was just so exciting to me. Everything came back normal. My skin, came back as a normal color. And so my grandchildren, when I started, I put them on the healthy study too for children, and they had a severe case of eczema, and we've been on it for 1 year, a little bit over a year now. They were on the chewables, and their skin, I can't tell if they even have eczema now. It has dried up. The chewables, the plant powders have dried up their eczema, and now it's dried so much I have to, put lotion just, on their arm because it has cleared it up. They're not sick. They just got braces, or they didn't even suffer with their gums because of, they were on the plant powders for over a year. So it's just been amazing. And so I would tell anyone to continue, to take them if you haven't taken them, and purchase them if you haven't.
Am I supposed to cry? Oh my goodness. I think, and y'all would think I'm used to this by now, but every time I hear it, I'm filled with such joy, because it's just things that people should know. I mean, people suffer on so many levels, and it's just fruits and vegetables. But anyways, okay, Adrienne, you're our last presenter, because I never heard your story, Jerry. But I'm gonna be quiet because I want to make sure we're doing this in a timely manner. So I never heard your story. Okay, Adrienne, I heard your story, so I'm not gonna cry.
Okay. And mine isn't as dramatic. I just go ahead. Were you gonna say something,
No,
Robin?
it's a good story, because this is the thing. Your story is I would say people have these profound stories, and then so people start taking the plant powders and they're looking for, but so tell your story as it is, as it exists.
Okay, so I was introduced to the plant powders, I think it's been 25 years. My sister had died from lung cancer. She was 46. I was 45 at the time. And they had just come out a couple years before that. And one of my friends said, oh my gosh, I was worried about what to do. I know you're supposed to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's the last thing I wanted to do when I was depressed, stuff my face with kale. So I was willing to do the capsules. I didn't expect to feel anything different. I just knew that I would feel less guilty, and I was doing something for my health, because I was afraid I was going to just follow along with my sister. My mother has survived cancer twice. I know everybody has a different story, but my mother's going to be 100 in February. And since she started, they were my first customers. Because I went on, I just said to my parents, I found this stuff, you guys need to take it. I don't know what's going to happen. And my father's going to be 100 in September. So it's pretty amazing. But I didn't expect to feel anything. And what I noticed the next morning was that my energy level was better. I was clear-headed in the morning. I stopped needing to take a nap every afternoon like I had been doing. My cravings for sugar changed. I was a sugar addict. People thought I had chronic fatigue. I just used to drag myself around figuring it's just being a mom. I had 10 and 12-year-olds. And so I got them on it also. I just didn't worry so much. It just took the worry out of it for me. So here I am. I'll be 70 this month. And that's the only thing I take. And my health has been good. I got my husband to do it also because he loves me. Sometimes you have to say to them, if you love me, you'll do this.
Yes.
And it just gives me peace of mind more than anything. And every time I hear these amazing stories, I think I didn't have to be, I'm grateful I didn't have to go through a lot of drama to get there, but I'm just blown away with what it does for us. And it's just, I think about it as being God in a capsule. It's just the fruits and vegetables we're supposed to have in our bodies that we don't go out and get. Okay, that's it.
We're getting chat saying they don't believe you're 70. They're like, wow, she's 70. This is the power of nutrition, guys. Let me, because we could stay on here all day and all night, so I'm going to just kind of wrap this up. But let me tell you, because you've heard all these wonderful stories, but let me tell you what 11 things we know will happen in your body. Specifically these 11 things, and as a result of these things, then the rest of your body follows suit. So we know that within 7 days, the antioxidants in your blood plasma will go up by 75%. We know that within the 7 days that the free radicals are going to go down in your body, so less damage in your DNA. We know that when you're taking the plant powders consistently. And as you hear the people sharing, that's what's happening. When the body is less damaged, amazing things happen. Cardiovascular circulation improvement within 28 days. You also will have your T cells and your B cells heightened and normalized within taking the plant powders. Anti-inflammatory response throughout the body, so less inflammation, healthier gums and teeth. That's my story. Like, my gums stopped bleeding when I went to the dentist. That just blew my mind. The skin, so your skin improves, the circulation, the healthy glow. As everyone was saying, oh my gosh, Adrienne's 70. Yes. When I saw her, she's the one who inspired me to take it, because I was thinking, if she has this much energy, and she's, at the time you weren't 70, you were 64, 65, maybe, no, 60 something. But I was like, I gotta take whatever she's doing. Pregnancy study, lower risk of preeclampsia, premature labor, vast benefits for kids and adults. I want you all to know this. When an adult gets the plant powders, the kids get them for free. There's something wonderful going on with that. So you've got to contact the person that invited you here to find out how your child or a child that you know can get these plant powders in their body for free. And my daughter takes them as well. Insulin resistance, decrease in belly fat, and then increased lung power, and that's decrease in oxidized cholesterol in the blood for smokers. So there's a lot going on here. These are 11 things that we know happen through the blood when you are taking the plant powders. And I'm trying to move my slide along, but it seems to be stuck there. I'm not sure why, but my brain, okay, well, that's fine. So we'll leave it there. But what I say to you all is that whoever invited you here, contact them so that you can find out more about the plant powders, how to get these plant powders into your body for yourself and for your family. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording and just open it up for questions that you all may have. So just give me 1 second I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to